In this video, we will learn about coding inspection procedures and drainage procedures. So whenever if inspection procedures are performed in order to achieve the objective of a different procedure, then the inspection procedure is not coded separately. It means in case of fiber optic bronchoscopy, if it is performed for irrigation of bronchus and only irrigation procedure is coded, because here the bronchoscopy is being done for the purpose of irrigation of bronchus, and hence only irrigation procedure is coded, or it may be any other definitive procedure. And second one, if multiple tubular body parts are inspected, the most distal body part, means the body part which is very furthest from the starting point of inspection, is coded. That means, for example, in case of cystoureteroscopy with inspection of bladder and ureters, and because the ureter is the farthest from starting point, the only ureter body part is coded and not bladder. And if multiple non-tubular body parts in a region are inspected, then the body part that specifies the entire area is coded. That means, for example, in case of laparotomy, exploratory laparotomy with general inspection of abdominal contents, the body part value peritoneal cavity is coded because it specifies the entire area, that is peritoneal cavity. And next, when both inspection procedure and another procedure are performed on the same body part during the same episode, and if the inspection procedure is performed using a different approach than the other procedure, then the inspection procedure is coded separately. That means here, see for example, endoscopic inspection of duodenum is coded separately when open excision of duodenum is performed. That means here both endoscopic inspection of duodenum and excision of duodenum, both are different procedures, so hence both are coded. So example, a patient was admitted with severe abdominal pain. So esophagogastroduodenoscopy revealed an acute gastric ulcer but no signs of hemorrhage or malignancy. So here the procedure is esophagogastroduodenoscopy. So the root operation will be inspection, and because it involves esophagus and duodenum, so we should check for upper intestinal tract. So we should search for the term inspection, and under inspection, intestinal tract. So under intestinal tract, upper intestinal tract, and also there is a separate entry for esophagogastroduodenoscopy, and if you know this, you can directly get the code from this index, that is 0dj. Okay, so if you follow this approach, the tabular form will be 0dj. So 0dj, and the upper intestinal tract, it is given the value 0, and open approach, sorry the approach is artificial via natural or artificial opening. So the approach will be via natural or artificial opening, but here 8 is via natural or artificial opening endoscopy. So this is 8, not 7. So upper intestinal tract via natural or artificial opening endoscopic, and no device and no qualifier. So another example, a patient, a 10-month-old male, presented with acute stridor and respiratory distress. A rigid bronchoscopy ruled out foreign body, but the findings were consistent with the group. So in group we see acute stridor and respiratory distress. So the inspection procedure is bronchoscopy. So the root operation will be inspection, and we should search for the term tracheobronchial tree. So tracheobronchial tree. So here the important point to remember is, sometimes you need to remember that separate entries within the index, so it will make you easy to find the code. Only if you know that there is a separate entry called tracheobronchial tree, you can code this. So hence under inspection, tracheobronchial tree, so the table will be 0bj. So we should go to the table 0BJ, and body part will be tracheobronchial tree, and open approach, and no device and no qualifier. Next, a patient was admitted with occlusion due to plaque of right common carotid artery, and open carotid endarterectomy was carried out with extracorporeal circulation, continuous cardiac output that is used throughout the procedure. So this is another example, and this is not related to inspection procedure. So here the main principal procedure is endarterectomy. So endarterectomy is the procedure where we will break down the solid matter present in the narrowed vessels. So another procedure is extracorporeal circulation. So two procedures are being done, with endarterectomy being the principal procedure. So the route operation for endarterectomy is extirpation. Extirpation. Because in extirpation we will break down the solid matter present in the vessels. Because endarterectomy, the vessels are filled or blocked with plaques, so we need to eliminate that solid matter. So the route operation will be extirpation of matter from the right common carotid, and the approach is open approach. So we should search for the term extirpation under in the index, and under extirpation common carotid. So we should use the search common carotid and write. So 03C. So the table will be 03C. I search for common carotid artery right and H. Actually the approach here is open approach. Sorry, I got the wrong part of the table. Actually it might be present below or above this 3 value. So the approach will be open approach and no device and no qualifier. See, the approach is open approach, but here in the table it is shown percutaneous. It's my mistake, sorry. And next, patient admission was for splenectomy. So the plan also called for removing a kidney stone on the left side, which was identified on her pre-admission workup. So both surgeries, total splenectomy and laparoscopic pyelolithotomy, were performed. So here two procedures are being done. One is splenectomy and pyelolithotomy. So which one is principal procedure here out of these two? The splenectomy will be the principal procedure, because here the patient was admitted for splenectomy. Hence, total splenectomy or splenectomy procedure will be the principal procedure. So we should code for both principal procedure, and another procedure is pyelolithotomy. Pyelolithotomy means nothing but removal of stones from the renal pelvis. So resection of splenectomy. So for splenectomy, the route operation will be resection, and for pyelolithotomy, and because we are removing the solid matter, the route operation will be extirpation of matter from the kidney pelvis, left one, and the approach is percutaneous endoscopic approach. So for the first procedure, for the first resection procedure, we should use the term resection in the index, and under resection search for spleen. So 070. So we should go to the table 070 and 070. So search for spleen P, and the approach is open approach and with no device and no qualifier. And the second procedure is extirpation of matter from the left kidney pelvis, percutaneous endoscopic approach. So under extirpation, we should search for kidney, and we will get the table with 07T. So sorry, actually this is the extirpation table 0TC. So 0TC and kidney pelvis 4 and percutaneous endoscopic approach and no device and no qualifier. And next, Foley catheter placement. So Foley catheter placement, the main purpose is drainage, and hence the root operation will be drainage. You should not get confused with the root operation insertion. Because Foley catheter is inserted, we should not consider that as an insertion procedure. Because the Foley catheter main purpose is for drainage, the root operation will be drainage. So under the drainage, you should search for bladder. So bladder 0T9 drainage device, and by a natural or artificial opening. So 0T9, you should search for bladder as bladder B, and by a natural or artificial opening 7, and 0 drainage device, and character 7 no qualifier. And next example, a patient was admitted because of increased swelling of right foot abscess because of staph aureus grew from the abscess. So she underwent a percutaneous incision and drainage of the foot abscess. So incision and drain, the root of the principal procedure will be here, incision and drainage, and the root operation will be drainage. So search for drainage in the index, and under drainage foot right one, so 0Y9. So 0Y9, search for foot and foot right, and the approach is percutaneous approach, and here there is no drainage device because there is no mention about drainage device, hence Z, not 0. I got the wrong table, I think. So this table is wrong. So the characteristics device will be no device and no qualifier. And next, let's see a look on. Sorry, let's see. Let's have a look on trauma case, and where the drainage of subdural space was carried out by incision, and the fracture was reduced. So, the trauma case, the patient might have a fracture, and for that fracture, drainage of subdural space was done by incision. So fracture reduced and drainage of subdural space was done. There are two procedures. So first we should code for fracture reduction. So the root operation for fracture reduction will be reposition. So reposition of skull. So we should search for the term reposition in the index, and under the index search for skull 0 and SO. So go to the table 0 and S, and skull 0, and approach, open approach, and no device and no qualifier. And the second procedure was drainage of subdural space. So search the term drainage in the index, and under drainage subdural space or intracranial space. So 009 should go to the table 009 and search for subdural space. So subdural space intracranial 4, and open approach, and no device and no qualifier. So this is how we code inspection procedure and drainage procedure. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to learn more about inpatient